Alex Eala to compete at Philippine Women's Open. Filipino star made early exit in Australian Open but attracted huge crowd for her matches. Dubai. After a disappointing early exit at the Australian Open, Filipino tennis star Alex Eala has returned to Manila to headline the inaugural Philippine Women's Open. The 20-year-old expressed excitement about competing in her first-ever home tournament, calling it a landmark moment for Philippine tennis. "Yes, I will be playing next week. I'm really looking forward to it and I hope people can come out and support the Pinays," Eala said. "It's a huge milestone for Philippine tennis and a big deal for all of us Filipina tennis players." Alex Eala touched down at NAIA Terminal 3 on Wednesday evening, fresh from her landmark AO debut. She returns home to compete in the inaugural Philippine Women's Open, a WTA 125 event set from January 26 to 31 at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. pic.twitter.com/vmzxd. Diane Castillo, at Diane Castillo, January 21, 2026. Eala arrived in the country accompanied by her parents, Mike and Riza, and coach Joan Bosch, ahead of the WTA 125 event scheduled from January 26 to 31 at the newly refurbished Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. Tournament organizers confirmed her participation after awarding her a wild card entry, ensuring local fans the chance to see the country's top player in action. Her availability had initially been uncertain due to a potential scheduling conflict with the Australian Open. However, despite a frustrating stint in the season's first Grand Slam, Eala's early exit paved the way for her to compete in this historic home event. Organizers are expecting a blockbuster week, with tickets already sold out for the tournament's final 2 days. Eala was officially welcomed home by Philippine Tennis Association (PhilTA) Secretary General John Ray Tiangco, who is also part of the Philippine Women's Open organizing committee. "It's been a dream to have a home tournament," Eala shared recently. "I'm so happy that this will inspire a lot of young girls back home." Eala's return did not go unnoticed, as travelers at the airport recognized her upon arrival, with some breaking into applause and calling out her name in celebration of her international success. Qualifying matches for the Philippine Women's Open singles draw will begin this weekend, with tickets available through SM Tickets. In her Australian Open debut, Eala proved she is no longer just a rising prospect but a marquee draw, attracting strong crowd support despite early round exits. She bowed out of the doubles competition alongside Brazilian partner Ingrid Martins after a 7-6, 2-6, 6-3 loss to Japan's Shuko Aoyama and Poland's Magda Linette on Tuesday, January 20th. The doubles defeat followed a gritty singles performance a day earlier, where Eala fell to American Alicia Parks, 0-6, 6-3, 6-2, in a match that drew a large turnout from the Filipino community eager to cheer on their rising star. Home court horizon, Alex Eala and the Philippine Women's Open. The sun rose early over Manila, spilling gold across the courts like a promise it intended to keep. On mornings like this, the city seemed to breathe with the rhythm of tennis balls, thok, thok, echoing from the hard courts where generations had learned to chase dreams one rally at a time. Alex Eala stepped through the gates with a quiet confidence, her racket bag slung over one shoulder, the familiar scent of fresh acrylic and warm air greeting her like an old friend. This was home. And this was the Philippine Women's Open. For Alex, competition had always been a dialogue between the self and the moment. The Philippine Women's Open was not just another tournament on a calendar crowded with travel and time zones. It was a return to the soil that shaped her. Every crack in the court, every shout from the stands carried the memory of afternoons spent hitting under the watchful eyes of coaches, parents, and kids who dreamed in forehands and backhands. The tournament felt like a bridge between who she had been and who she was becoming. The crowd gathered early. Students in school uniforms leaned over railings, their voices rising when Alex appeared. Vendors hawked bottled water and banana Q, while banners fluttered with the names of sponsors and the soft insistence of national pride. The Philippine Women's Open had always been a celebration of local grit, but today it felt like something more, a shared heartbeat, a moment where a nation's hope met an athlete's resolve. Alex warmed up with the economy of motion she had honed through years of discipline. Each swing was deliberate, each step purposeful. She had learned long ago that confidence was not loud, it was steady. As she bounced the ball before her first serve, she closed her eyes for a breath, listening to the court. The ball left her strings with a clean snap, a sound that cut through the chatter and settled her nerves. The match began. Her opponent was fierce, a player forged by long hours and stubborn ambition. The rallies stretched, testing patience and endurance. Alex moved with a grace that belied the effort beneath it, sliding into shots, changing direction mid-stride. She absorbed pressure and redirected it, a lesson learned not just from coaches but from the very idea of representing something larger than herself. When the crowd roared, it wasn't only for winners, it was for resilience, for the refusal to yield. Between points, Alex glanced at the stands. She saw faces young and old, some wearing her name on homemade signs, others simply watching with the quiet intensity of those who understood the cost of every point. She remembered being one of them, standing at the edge of courts, dreaming beyond the fence. The Philippine Women's Open was proof that dreams could circle back, that the path forward sometimes curved home. As the match wore on, the heat intensified, pressing down like a challenge of its own. Sweat beaded at Alex's temples, her breath measured. She adapted, shortening points when she could, extending them when she had to. Tennis, she knew, was a game of choices made in fractions of seconds. It was also a game of patience, of trusting the work done in silence when no one was watching. The second set brought momentum shifts that felt like tides. A break point saved here, a double fault there. The crowd held its breath together, exhaling with each decisive strike. Alex's serve became a statement, her return a question the opponent struggled to answer. When she closed out the match, the applause rose like a wave, washing over the court and carrying with it the weight of shared triumph. But the tournament was not a single match. It was a journey measured in days, in recovery and recalibration. Each round demanded a fresh beginning. Alex embraced the routine, ice baths, stretching, quiet dinners. At night, she replayed points in her mind, not to dwell, but to learn. The Philippine Women's Open was teaching her again that growth is cumulative, that every challenge leaves a mark worth studying. In the semifinals, the pressure sharpened. The opponent's game was aggressive, testing Alex's defense and nerve. The rallies were bruising, the angles unforgiving. Yet Alex found a deeper calm, a place where preparation met instinct. She remembered the countless hours spent refining footwork, the mornings when motivation had to be summoned rather than assumed. Those memories became fuel. She fought for every inch, turning defense into opportunity, opportunity into belief.